What's up, everybody? It's another streaming day. Well, I'm going to be continuing on with hopefully some of my testing that I started last week. Last week I had a problem I could not solve. The good news is I found a solution for it in the week, and I'm going to show you right here in a second. Just getting set up. How's your weekend going? Hope it's going good. Hey, Coco Type. How you doing, buddy? Hopefully my audio is in sync with my video. It's really hard for me to tell. For some reason, uh, when I do it here locally, I put a lag in when I'm streaming because that seems to be working for people watching the stream. But for me, my audio is way ahead of my video. So things get very confusing for me locally. So let me know. So the breaking news this week is I just dropped a new episode of the Compile Swift podcast. Let me pull that up here and shamelessly promote it for you all. Give me 1 second. CompileSwift.com/podcast. And you will see it here. There is a new episode installing macOS Monterey on an external drive. It does look off. Can't tell by how much though. All right. Does it look like the video is behind the audio? Because that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so there's a new episode here I just dropped with my experiences installing macOS on an external drive with the M1 chip. Nowhere near as simple as it is with Intel, but I figured it out, and the details are in the podcast if you're interested. All right, with that out the way. Video is behind the audio. Okay, I tell you what, buddy, give me 1 second here. I think I can fix this. Give me a second. I need to switch out some stuff here. Here's all the glorious details. Hang on. I think it is here. Yeah, I got a sync delay here. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let's try this. I'm going to drop it off, which is the logical thing. And we'll see if that works, because that puts it in real time for me. So just let me know. All right, so here we go. So Coco Type, what you been up to this week? I did not catch your last stream, so I'm behind on snooping on your code and your projects. How's your weekend been? Seems to have fixed it. Awesome, buddy. Thank you. It's weird because it seemed wrong to me, but other people were saying it was right with the lag, so I really don't know. But without having the lag locally makes it so much easier for me to not hear myself in my head and be offset with the video. So let's see how that goes. And also because when I was playing back the stream afterwards, it seemed off to me as well. So thank you. A bit more of your flavor of weather. Oh, really? Oh, no, I am so sorry. Please, I'm not sorry to give you the heat, so I'm sorry, but you have air. Did you have air conditioning? I'm not sure if you have air conditioning where you are as a thing. I can tell you my air conditioning's been going nuts this week. Every time I step outside, it's like, oh boy, summer's almost here. A window unit in one room. Oh yeah, yeah. So you just stay in the room, like it. That's exactly what I'd be doing. I got a feeling that that's probably what they might start doing in England because it gets so. It's not as hot as it gets here, but it is that different kind of heat because my hometown is on the coast near London, on the coast in England, Well, it was my hometown. And when I went back there a couple of years ago, during the summer, which was, I think it was August for them, if I remember rightly, for August, and that's kind of the summer for them. Maybe it was June. I think it might have been June actually, and it was upper 90s with no air conditioning on the coast, and it was. I don't know if that's what Houston's like, but I can imagine it was pretty terrible. All right, so I'm going to show you where I failed last week on the stream and succeeded during the week. And sure enough, I was right. The answer was a lot simpler once I went away, thought about the problem, and came back. What I wanted to do, I wanted to write a test. And I'm just going to pop these out of my ears here. Okay, so the test that I wanted to write was for this. Let me find... So the one I wanted to test was the deleting of a preset. Now, the problem was the delete preset function expects a preset index, right? So that when you swipe on the screen on the list, it knows, oh, okay, I'm going to delete, this one on the list, which I didn't think was too much of an issue until I realized, oh, it's an issue. After I had gone around, I think this is an English saying, around the houses, but basically after I had gone around and got nowhere, I went away, thought of just slapped on it, came back, figured it out with some searching. What I did was this. So everything was fine in the test. I create, just like I got here. I know there's a lot of long form, but I'm still learning the testing stuff, which is why it's all in long form. I created for the test new data source, a new UUID, which is the identifier for each of the rows. And then I created a new preset and added it to the preset list so that I could remove it, right? All that part there makes perfect sense, right? Then when it came to delete it, I realized, well, how am I going to get this preset index because I've not done anything on the UI to make it happen? Turns out, after a bunch of trial and error and a bunch of testing, you can do it like this, right? So I call my function delete preset, the preset index. I create a new index set, and what I was doing, I was passing like 0 because I knew it was the only one on the list because I've only added one on the list during the test. What I didn't realize was it has to be an array. So once I did that, it all started coming together and started working. And then at that point, I could then assert true that the preset list where I get the lists and the count was 0 because I'm only adding one, deleting one, 0 means that the delete function worked and it was good. Now, arguably, I should have another test, or change this test so there are multiple presets and make sure it deletes the right one. I guess if I was really truly accurately testing it, that is how it should go, right? At least in my mind. So with all of that done, I'm going to go over to, well, what I'm going to do here actually is, where's my, what I'll do is, because I haven't run it this week and I cleaned out all of my stuff, I'm going to go ahead and run these tests, right? So I'm going to run all these tests and we'll see where we're at. So I got, while this is doing its thing, this week I got Big Sur installed on the external drive. Yay. Just in time for the Xcode Beta 2, got that installed on the external drive. I've updated Ruby and those kind of tools from the terminal. That's as far as I've got. My goal is to actually keep it as a minimal setup install and only install my development tools that I actually need on there. Firstly, I'm expecting, Big Sur Beta 2, Big Sur Beta, really. Monterey Beta 2 to maybe drop this week, so I'll have to update it. And then my coffee cup's getting cold. And then, continue to hopefully be able to update it and use it that way. But what I like to do with my betas, I don't know if this is how anyone else does it, but every year as they come along, I slowly introduce the tools that I critically need. Like not the nice to haves, but the ones that I need. And I introduce those over time and test them and make sure that everything's good, so that I know as we get further through the testing and the betas and the releases towards the end of the year, where I can expect to stand when the OSs come out. The nice thing about Monterey, I will say, is it doesn't feel like a big shift. There are noticeable things, but it's not a big shift and it feels comfortable. I'm running iPad OS 15 Beta 2, by the way, which, other than Safari, feels pretty good. Definitely like the new multitasking stuff. Maybe I'll do an episode on that or a stream sometime, and I'll share the screen and show it on there. Okay, anyway, so we did the tests. All the tests have passed. Now, I got to remember how to do this here. I think it's this one. What I want to see now is my code coverage, because what I'm trying to do is fill in the blanks for my code coverage, because I did the wrong thing. As Giolodi quite rightly pointed out, the best way is to write your tests and then the code. We know this, but I had already done the code on this. You should definitely listen to my podcast interview with Giolodi if you haven't, on testing. Very, very knowledgeable guy. I learned a lot from him, and he's got a great book out as well. Go to compileswift.com/podcast. You'll see them listed in there if you look at the episode list. All right, this has all been done and looks like it all ran. Going to go over to the reports here. You can see my coverage is getting better. So notice how hesitant I was to say it's getting better, because the problem that I had, where's the one I'm looking for here? Preset list data. Here we go. So I was trying to work through these, right? So the problem that I had was this delete preset wasn't covered before. What I'm not, let's see, what's Coco type say here? I haven't messed with Monterey too much yet. I have it on external drive too. Yes, safest way. Weird thing, I don't want to spoil the podcast. I had to do some weird things with the internal drive to get the external drive working. Okay, so let's click the arrow here. I really have got used to loving these indicators that tell me the areas of the code that have not got code coverage for testing. But I feel like I'm being a little slow on the uptake here, because the areas that are not covered, like this catch that doesn't do anything, it should probably throw an error if it can't load the file. This catch here, again, doesn't do anything. I think you see in the pattern, right? I created on this one here, throw file error, load. I've created a error class. Let me show you. Errors. I just created a very straightforward, quick, simple enum to get started here. But the problem that I'm having is, kind of that weird thing of, well, I wrote the code won't fail. So how do I test my failure? Does that make sense? Right? So if I go back to my preset list here, so I got to figure out how to do something to make this error throw, which I thought would be as simple as, well, I just will try and load a file that doesn't exist and it will throw the error. It didn't work. It didn't throw the error. Same thing down here. This one here, saving it. I haven't tested this one yet. Got to figure out how to write a test to incorrectly save the file. This one here is not tested, the export to JSON. I haven't even figured out yet how I'm going to write a test for that either. So, what'd you say here? I need to get up to speed on it to replace all my extra automated work with shortcuts. Yeah, it's funny. You should definitely talk about that sometime. The biggest thing for me this year on Monterey is having shortcuts on the Mac, because I use it on my laptop to do a bunch of, on my iPad, bit of a Freudian slip, to do a whole bunch of things. And I am so used to now writing shortcuts, and even the workflow before it was bought, from Apple. Before Apple brought workflow. I used to write the workflows in there. So I'm so used to doing it on my iPad that I was just massively happy that it's going to be on the Mac. My initial testing of the ones that I wrote on my iPad is they kind of work. They kind of just worked on the Mac, which was great. Like I have one, for example, that opens up a whole bunch of web pages with Google Analytics and a whole bunch of kind of analysis stuff that I have on my iPad. It just works on the Mac. It's fantastic. But I really love the idea of writing shortcuts on the Mac. I did some automated stuff. I was not great at it because I really hadn't spent a lot of time with it, but I got what I needed and left it at that. Apple script, I just never, it was just not a thing for me. I just couldn't get along with it. But I'll admit that I also didn't really try too hard. So I just dived into Automator. But I think I read somewhere that there was something they're going to do where you can convert Automator to shortcuts or something like that. I'm not sure. But really loving shortcuts on the Mac. That's just going to be a great thing for me because I love to automate as much stuff as I can, especially when I'm doing the podcasts episodes and things like that. And after I finished it and uploaded it, I just want a whole bunch of stuff to happen for me. And I'm using Zapier at the moment, and I still intend to continue using that. But Zapier does have an integration with I can't remember if it's shortcuts, but somehow I made it work. And I intend to sort of keep doing that because I just really like shortcuts. What are you using shortcuts for? Do you use it for just like quick things, or do you have like crazy complicated multi-step madness? I don't know if you listen to the Automators podcast. That is a good one, but they really deep dive and get like true nerdy on it. So, Max Sparky and, Rosemary Orchard, they're really great at it. So shout out to both of them. Not that they'll be watching my podcast, but shout out to both of them. So anyway, I got to write a script for this. Run Automator action and run Apple script or shortcuts on Monterey. Oh, fantastic. So you could actually write a shortcut and just keep your existing script and automate it. So you don't even necessarily, I'm sure in the long run, you're going to want to migrate them. But for now, it's kind of that middle ground of we gave you a way to run that part. You don't have to rewrite it. That's nice. I think automation on the Mac has never really been given the credit that it's due. And I'm glad to see the Mac automation team, getting in there with it, because I feel like for a while they were not ignored, but it wasn't a big thing, and it should have been, because it's a massively important thing to power users on Macs. Very difficult to do similar things like that on Windows. You don't use it too much? You support it in Highlighter. Interesting. So how do you do that with Highlighter, your Highlighter app? Do you support stuff coming in or going out, or what do you do? Is it acting as kind of a intermediary for some things? All right, let's go back to my report here. Let's see what else we can do. I don't think I embarrassed myself enough last week with writing tests that I need to keep doing it this week just to make my life even worse. There are some areas. There's one area that confuses me, and I think I mentioned this last week, because it says here, like if you look at this onboarding screen 3, onboarding screen 2, but yet if you look at the first one, there's 4, and then where is it? The start has some coverage because it does have some code going on in there, but not much, right? I mean, it doesn't have coverage for the preview. That's kind of weird too. I get like, does that even matter? I guess I'm just OCD about 100%, but I don't understand. Like on this screen, there's nothing to test. If I go to the screen, it's just a bunch of stuff that gets displayed. Nothing to test there other than, again, the preview. And my question to anyone doing SwiftUI stuff, do you even care about writing tests for this preview down here? Does it even matter, or do you just live with it not being 100% on the chart, even though it just drives me nuts? Anyway, that's that. You can take in an image and find specific words in it and spit out a redacted. Oh, awesome. So yeah, that's a great integration you've got going on there. That is cool, dude. So I'm trying to think there. Does it open it up that I could be working in another application on the document and then kick that over, get it redacted, and come back again, something like that, or just all sort of like a redaction of gives me the image? That'd be great. I feel like the government should use your app, by the way. It saves them all the money on the black pens, right, for the reports. Oh, gosh, I have drunk so much coffee this week trying to solve my Monterey problem, I tell you. Feel free, buymeacoffee.com/PWCOM if you want to buy me a coffee. I don't know if any of you have ever seen these, but this is one of the Ember mugs, and it's great because I can use my phone or even my watch to set the temperature of my coffee, and it just keeps it there. Because, you know, you can't have enough gadgets, right? I don't care about testing the previews, do care about testing the main code, and haven't found a great way to actually do so. Yeah, okay, good. So I feel better that I'm not the only one that doesn't really care about the previews, right? I mean, it's nice in Xcode, but I'm not losing sleep over it. Other than it not being 100%, that's the only part that bugs me because I'm kind of OCD about that kind of thing. Which is ironic when you look and you're like, but now he's writing the test, so he can't be that OCD, right? Let's have a look at this one. So we've got a 85%. What are we missing on here? Oh, so we're missing the empty catches. Now, again, I got to figure out how do I test these. But this one down here, the export to JSON. What actually happens here is when I do it converts the data, right? Serializes it, ready to be exported, and it just returns that data. So I guess the test I would have is, did it return valid JSON? That's the only test I can think of there. But again, there is this catch of returning, you know, non-valid. So, I mean, I guess that's a secondary test there, right? Do I take that one on? I'm trying to look and see what I can get achieved here this week. I'm going to do a hard stop at 9 o'clock. Sorry, let me see. 9 p.m. my time. And I've already... Oh, come on, watch. There you go. Okay, good. All right. I got this one down here, the export to JSON. Oh, sorry, that is that one. I'm looking at the same file. What else do we have going on up here? The JSON management stuff, I got some in there. Content view is a weird one because, again, there's nothing in there. So I wish there was some way I can mark it. Maybe there is, and say, look, I don't care about this file from a testing perspective. I don't know. I guess maybe there is, and I'll come across it. Oh, the app settings. Now that one actually could, what I'm looking for, yeah, I could test these functions, right? Because this is the one that uses the export data file, and what that does is, let me show you. Over here in the JSON, when you go to export the file, it grabs the file, grabs it, it's got a JSON extension, basically brings up the share sheet and lets me store it somewhere. So I guess maybe that's an interesting, because maybe the testing on that needs, I guess I test and see if the share sheet came up. What I'm finding about testing is it's not as easy as you think necessarily to think about what the test should be. Coco Type says, do you even need the catch in init? You have data load for file marked as throws, but it catches everything. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that, because I got a feeling when I put it in there, I was thinking I didn't need it either. But if I remember rightly, I think if I didn't do it, it gave me a problem, or maybe there was originally a problem. Okay, so yeah, this was what was happening, was the throw was not handled. And that is sort of stopped me in my tracks there a little bit. It's like, well, okay, because the only way I could stop it now, if you got a suggestion or know a way to help solve this problem, I'd love to learn from you. Thank you. Because the only thing that I did that made it go away was to do it this way, so that it got caught and was handled. But I got a feeling what should actually be happening is it should be handled somewhere else. it rethrows. Oh, okay. All right. So you feel like that maybe is a valid case, right? Valid setup right there. Because anytime I see something like, normally this is what happens. My gut says to me, well, that just seems wrong because it's doing something without really paying attention to, why you're doing it, right? Well, what if it does fail? But at the same time, I couldn't get past the compiler error, which is probably just my own ignorance of some Swift thing that I should know better, but that's what got me past it for now, except for that catch statement. And what's weird, because, as if that wasn't bad enough, to me, doing something like this is fine for when I'm writing code and debugging it here and things like that. But that catch, what happens in that catch is completely useless in production, right? Now, I guess some kind of logging system and I could log it, but again, it's only really helpful for looking at it and going, yeah, that's what happened, right? Let me run the tests again. See, that should not have any impact on this. Yeah, see, I don't think even then that doesn't count as a satisfactory test here for the code because it's not testing it, right? I didn't realize your cache was throwing a different error. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it seems to me like there needs to be something here, right? And admittedly, I hadn't thought about that when I was solving this problem last week. But now that I think about it, hold on. If you think about, see down here where it's load data from file, right? This throws, and like you say, comes back up here. But you don't want to throw it again up here because that's not going to help any. This throw down here takes care of it, right? Which, arguably, by all logic, seems to me like, yeah, this should be completely redundant. But maybe I'm reading it wrong. The other problem here is, too, that the code doesn't actually fail. Like I say, when I was trying to write a test to make it perform the throw here, it actually wasn't doing it. Because what happens if the file doesn't exist, it's fine. It registers it and says, well, I'll create the file for you. Maybe it's a new install. So it's kind of a weird catch-22 on that one. Let's go back. Where were we? These are all fun things, though. I got to say, from just doing my own little writing of learning more about the testing on my own app here, it's teaching me an awful lot, I got to say, which is kind of the whole point of the thing, right? Glad to say that, since this is a personal app and it hasn't been released yet or anything like that, I am sort of free to mess this up as badly as I want right now. Help.swift. So this one is a web view that loads the page. I guess maybe you can write a test that says try and load the page and it failed to load the page and it successfully loaded the page. But again, that seems kind of redundant, right? I mean, to me, when you have like this web view, you're essentially pulling in from outside the application. I'm not processing the data that's loaded or anything, just loading a web page. There's really not too much to test there, but I guess testing folks would say, well, yeah, but there's still a test. So it'll be interesting to see what you will think about that. Seems like this probably should be a thing, right? Or maybe it goes differently and I test these two. That's probably a thing I should do. Let's see, what else do we have here? Maybe I should just dive into the deep end and try and test this web view. Sorry, this one up here, not the preview one. But testing of these, since I'm not making these functions, they're just built in. Again, testing, I don't know how far that gets me because I cannot access the code, right? The Apple code. So maybe it kind of makes the test a little redundant. Oh, there's a lot in this one. Add new preset. I haven't done anything here yet, actually. This would be a good one. And this is another thing that puzzles me is, well, how do you write code coverage for those? Right? Maybe these are probably UI view, not UI view, sorry, Swift UI view tests that need to be written for this. But again, I mean, it's going to load it up. The only parts that could potentially fail would be the clearing of the form, saving of the preset, which is already tested. I thought I had a test for this, actually. Yeah, see, because I add the new preset there, I've already got a test for that. And that's another thing that I don't know if Xcode's just not smart enough or if I really need to write another test, but I've already tested this line of code is tested somewhere else and it works. So I don't really get how it doesn't see it as being tested here other than it's not tested in this context. I guess let's go back here. Let's make a new file. We're going to call this let's try the add preset view tests. Yep, go ahead, save it. I don't need either of those. The code coverage is literally just, was this specific line of code run? So yeah, it wasn't run in that context. Okay, great, thank you. That's good to know because I think I may have given it a little more credit than it deserved as far as how smart it was then. But I would like to explore writing a test to test it in that context, just for my own satisfaction and just, I feel like somewhere along the way I'll learn something, you know? All right, so let's do test add preset from view. Oops. And see that one right there. I'm going to just take a copy of that because oops. Actually, maybe I start. Well, what's odd is, no, I'm looking at the wrong file. Sorry. I just realized. Getting myself in the wrong thing here. Add new preset Swift. Okay, it is that one. Great. I'm looking for is well, actually, it's going to be the save preset here. Creates it, does it, saves it. So it's add new preset. I gotta think, I'm confusing myself now. How do I know that I'm calling this function in this view on this test? Well, you don't, because it's not a UI test, it's a unit test, right? Yeah, I got the feeling I'm writing the wrong kind of test here. You know, I think it's actually time. Add preset view test. Maybe I should now start looking at the UI tests as well. Let's remove this one. Let's move on to these. Oh my gosh, it's getting hot now. My tests there. All right, let's make a new UI test case class. XC tests. I guess that's the right one. I'm going to trust that Swift knows better than I do. I'm just going to run this. I've not done these in Swift UI yet, UI tests. So this is a whole new thing. This will be interesting. I've done these with AppKit, I think, or maybe no, I think it was UIKit, but. And if I remember rightly, up here somewhere, isn't there a record button or something along those lines? Trying to remember how I did this. It's been a while, but I thought there was a record. There's a button where you can record your test, right? I know there used to be one where you could just do the you could start it and then it would record the actions roughly for you as you did it, and then you could go back and refine it. But for the life of me, I do not remember where it is. Shout out if you know. Let me look this up quickly. I should have known there'd be a John Sundell, sorry, article on this. I read this one the other day. Of course, you know, another great one, Paul Hodson. Recording UI tests. UI test target. Accessibility information. Da, da, da. Record button at the bottom. Okay. Oh, look, right there. Had I have looked at the bottom of the screen. You're on your own here. I've never really done UI tests. Yeah, that's all right. I feel like I can struggle for the both of us, and then if I figure it out, you know, for the future, right? So, recording UI test target for your project. Well, I have one, right? Yeah, right there. Let's look at my schemes. Oh, you know what? For starters, I'm going to need a scheme, right? That could be part of the problem right there. Yeah, UI tests, iPhone 12. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's go back here. Record, it's not an option. Why is it not an option? The scheme FX preset manager UI test is not configured for running. No executors. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can take the hint. I see what you're telling me. All right. How do I get that to activate? I'm missing something vitally important here. Let's open a source file in the UI test target and insert the cursor in a test method, which I've not written. That might be the answer. Right function. Add new preset. Okay. You can add to an existing test method or create a new one. Click the record button and Xcode launches your app in the simulator. Except it doesn't. Did I need to add throws on that? Okay, hang on, let's back up. Oh, wow, wait a minute. Why can I do it in that? Oh, who called it? You got to have test in front. All right, I think it's like the other tests. Test, add new preset, throws, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I don't need the throws on my one. Let's just clean the test results. Clean the build folder. Okay, why is it okay to do it in this one, but not okay to do it in my one? What's so special about that function? Oh wait, now it's lit up. Okay. This one is going to be complete. Test complete. onboarding screens. Okay, here we go, folks. Please select a scheme where FX Preset Manager is the executable. Is he talking about this? I don't think it is. I think you want to select your main app scheme, not the... Oh, okay. Well, let's get rid of that. But if I do that... Oh, okay. It does still let me. All right. Well done, sir. Seeing you said you didn't know. All right. Swipe, 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 start, and then stop recording. I remember seeing this, maybe it was when a couple of years ago, demonstrated on, you know, one of the WWDC videos. Blew my mind because, okay, eventually, I mean, I'll be able to guess that stuff, not a problem. But like all of this, nah. Okay, let's run that. Failed to get matching snapshots. Now, I think the reason for that is going to be because my app on the device has already performed the onboarding screens. So if I run it again without the app, it should install the app, be forced to run the screens. There we go. Fantastic, right? Okay. Let's do another one. This is so much easier. Years of interpreting Xcode specific flavor of error messages. and when do you release your like 30 volume book of findings on that? All right. See, it doesn't come up at first, and I wonder if there's like some magic I'm supposed to be aware of here. I don't know. I love how the test succeeded because there's nothing in it. Isn't that awesome? All right. Okay. Hey, Nicholas Rios, I think it's pronounced. Thank you, sir or madam, on YouTube there. I'll release that book the year they don't introduce any new ones. I see. You realize that's your career path, right? That's my entire... that should be your thing. My entire career is based on a series of books that I hope I'll probably never have to release because Xcode won't stop having issues. Or the flip side is you release a very, you know, the how to prevent errors in Xcode book, and inside is one page that says don't install Xcode. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, Nicholas. Appreciate it. Right. Let's do this again. See, I don't know how I got that last time. Did I get it because I cleaned out the test build results, which I wouldn't understand? Click away, click back. Okay, hands up who thinks that that's an Xcode bug right there. Add that to your book. If you find a button that doesn't light up, just click away, click back. Problem solved. All right, let's do this. We're going to record a test here to add a preset. So I'm going to click on here. Lost recording connection with device. What? Add a preset. So new preset. Description. Let's do this properly. Description. I'm going to set random numbers for the dynamic range here. By the way, what do you all think about the blue as the background here? I just don't know. It looks nice on the device. Doesn't look so great on the simulator on a screen here. I'm just randomly picking stuff here so that we have these numbers. If you was using a camera or a photographer, you're going to know what these all are. 1600 ISO, which was nice and grainy back in the day, and then plus 1/3 on there. Save. All right. Stop it. That is my test right there. Look at that. Now, I do recall them, you know, like you can refine things in here. It's never going to get it exactly perfect. What's this? Hit command 6 fixes more Xcode test bugs than you'd think. Should we do it? Let's do it. All right, let's run this test again then. So we've got a preset now on the app, right? It shouldn't care about the loading screens. We should be good. It should wait until the app is up and then click that middle button. But see, here's where the test is going to fail, because why do you think it's going to fail? It's going to fail because that middle button is not there now, right? Whereas if I went in, took out this preset, right? Talking about this one right here. Now, this is an interesting thing we're testing, because if I click this one here, this one's always going to be here, right? So that's the more sensible option. Now, if you want to get full coverage, you've got to test both buttons, right? See what I'm getting at? So let's run this again. Theoretically, it's gonna work now. Hey, Coco Type, are you streaming tonight? Because we should definitely tell folks if you are, because your stream's awesome. All right, the test failed. Let's have a look. See, it's going through and it's trying to find the fields, right? But it's not finding them. So let's do this the other way, right? Actually, tell you what I'm going to do. This is where we get to take advantage of doing both here. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to delete everything. Not crazy, not that crazy, trust me. And I'm going to go in and record again, but this time I'm going to click the button at the top here, right? And then I'm going to stop it. The reason being is I'm going to paste back in the rest of the test, right? Where it fills in everything, although it's complaining like mad. You know what? Let's do this. Let me think. Gonna copy that, and then let's go backwards. I think I may have deleted a line I didn't mean to. Let's take that, put that up there. try that. All right. What was that all about? There we go. Okay. Look at that magic. Too hot to brain. I don't blame you. Yeah, I think you just deserve a cold drink of some description, your choice. Sit by that unit hanging out the window and just pray for cooler weather. You're gonna get cooler weather. Do you know soon? These last tests, by the way, I think pretty sure these are the performance ones. Okay. What I'm finding interesting. I don't remember what that one there is. Segment control. Let's take that one out. Let's try it again. Not until Wednesday. Oh boy. Great, isn't that great? So hump day is when the weather's going to get better for you. Oh, look, now it's not putting the text in there. Oh, it's not recording text at all. How odd is... Okay, so I'm curious. Let's trash this whole test. Start it over. Oh, hang on. Sorry, it's going to go nuts on me there, right? Record. All right, plus connection with device. Well, of course you did. Why, you know, it's right there, right next to you, but okay. Plus. Yeah, see, I see what's happening now. Okay. Because it loses the connection, it's not recording my first command. Plus new preset, the description. Let's go through, set these numbers just so we have a nice pattern. Oh, you know what? And I didn't click on this drop down either last time. There we go. What does that even mean? What is going on? Xcode, Xcode, Xcode. Maybe I should just do this on a device. Let's stop this. I'm going to delete all the apps. All right, let's try this again. Okay, come on, come on, come on. This time, don't lose connection. Oy. Don't want to do this, though. All right. Yeah. What is that all about? Let's get past these screens. Okay, there we go. Now, plus new preset, description, the description. Does it not like it because I go back up? Timestamped event matching error. Failed to find matching element. I got a feeling it's got something to do with that right there. Okay, let's do the test, but let's not change that. Oh boy. Fun, right? Lost recording connection. Oh, Xcode. New preset. Description. Scroll down, do it again, do that. Green effect 5. Although I've got a feeling it's not recording those. Not recording the text fields. Look, see, I can tap on the text field, but the text that I put in. Now, maybe that's because I'm doing it on an external keyboard, I wonder. Hang on. Let's find out. Device. Where's the show keyboard? Keyboard. Software keyboard. It's not even showing me the software keyboard. All right, disconnect that one. There we go. Okay, now. Is it a... Oh, see? All right, so you can't put text in using the external keyboard. Well, that's just silly. Okay, silly. Now it works. What is that all about? I don't know. Well, let's hope. That's something I didn't want to see if they've fixed in the new Xcode, because that's ridiculous. Okay, and stop the test. Wow. All right. Let's run it again. Yeah, thanks, Nicholas. It's strange, right? I mean, I'm sitting here with a really expensive mechanical keyboard, and I'm typing on it, and it's working, and everything's good. It even comes up in your simulator, but for some reason, Xcode doesn't record text typed in on an external keyboard. Apple, what is that about? You really think us as developers, the amount of times we're going to run these things, we're going to sit and use that stupid on-screen keyboard? Because I ain't going to do that. All right, failed to get matching snapshot for type scroll from input application. Oh, see. Well, now with the newfound weird knowledge that we have, let's start this again. Let's go in. Oh, sorry. Okay, that one was me. Xcode. All right. Plus. And lose connection the first time. Stop it. Run it again. Sometimes you just wonder, right? Plus. All right. Oh, man. You got to be kidding me. What about if I do it now? Nope. Okay. New preset. I'm going to let you into a little secret on the app here. You actually don't have to change anything else, because everything else is a valid preset. So if I leave all that alone and hit save and stop. Local variable app before its declaration. Let app2 equal app. Let app equal... Oh, you gotta laugh, right? But you know what? I do remember having that, thankfully, on the clipboard there. Refactor, rename, no. Oh, yay. Okay, you know what? This is so silly. Someone please tell me that that's not silly, because that's silly. Oh, jeez. All right. Let's run the test. You got to wonder some days how on earth we ship apps, right? Write tests, they said. It'll be good, they said. Failed to get matching snapshots. No matches found for element matching predicate n. And well, this is just going great, isn't it? And also, why does it got it in there twice? That's... I'm going to take each of these out. I don't understand why it's recording everything twice. Unless it's recording the push down, up and down, but that would be stupid. Believe me, testing is a good thing. Just doesn't look like it is. New preset. Oh, okay. So record your UI, edit the code like crazy, and eventually it'll work. Okay. Jeez. Let's do a delete preset now, and less to go wrong with that one, right? All right. Function test. Delete preset. Now, the interesting part here is, for this to work, you're already going to have a preset, which is fine, because if you ran this one and then you ran this one, that would work. But if you had something that I remember reading somewhere, which is a good idea to randomize your tests to really test them properly, this ain't going to work. For the delete preset, you would really have to add a preset first in the same test in order for it to work. Does that make sense? In fact, can I do that? Test, add new preset first? What do you think? Do you think that'll work? Let's take a vote. Of course, it's going to fail to connect the first time because tradition. Yep, there you go. Tradition. Run it again. Jeez. Okay, we will delete the one we put in, which was this one. Okay, but no, I don't. I want to delete it. No, I want to swipe. Oh boy. Is it not going to let me swipe? What? It's not letting me swipe. Oh, jeez. Hang on. I know you can swipe in the app. See? Doing it right there. It's recording the swipe in the code. It's just not happening. You know what was interesting though? Hang on. Did it actually add another preset? Okay, so you can call the test from the other test. That's awesome. But I should be able to... Let's get rid of all this. Try it again. I don't know why it's not letting me swipe, right? I should be able to go to one of these, click on it, and swipe. Now, oh look, now it did it. Now it lost connection. Hang on. Boy, oh boy. I can't believe that there can be this many issues. I got to be doing things wrong here, right? What do you all think? Nope, see, can't swipe now. It's bizarre. So it'll let me swipe up, but it won't let me swipe over. I bet you have to write this by hand, right? I bet that's what's going on. So I got to do the swipe layer. So hold on. What we're going to have to do here. Preset list button. Well, equals app tables matching I don't know, new preset QQQ QQ element blah, 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 buttons preset. Okay, swipe left. What is that all about? If I do this, does it swipe now? Oh, look, now that I've edited all the code, oh boy, Xcode. Okay. But what I need to do is add the delete, which I can do with code, I guess, but I'd much rather be able to swipe and delete. That's what I want. Okay. Didn't need the breakpoint. Jeez. Okay. Let's clean this up. So, don't need that. Swipe left and then cell element, then tap. What do you think? How lucky are we feeling? We are learning an awful lot of things about what's not working properly here and how we have to write code to fix them. Okay, so the swipe comes across. But at that point, I need to be able to hit the delete. So we do that. Tap that. Oh, okay. Probably don't need those breakpoints. I'm probably just being ridiculous putting those in there, right? Nicholas says maybe we'll get a solid version of Xcode this year. Yep. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do, folks. Maybe for the stream next weekend, since I've got my external drive with Monterey and Xcode 15, no, sorry, Xcode whatever it is, 13 beta in there. How about I take my code base that I've got here and we'll do exactly what we're doing here, but we will do it in the new Xcode next week and we'll find out. How about that? What do you all think of that? Let's put it through its paces and see just how, see if things have got better. What do you think? Let's take those out. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, awesome. That's what we're going to do. The fun part about this is what I'm going to have to do is I have a Windows machine here that I use that's set up with OBS and that for streaming when I'm playing games. So I will have to do this compile Swift stream, which right now OBS is running on the same Mac that you're seeing me do the coding on. I'll have to run it, I think, through Windows next week for the stream. So I'll be capturing the entire Mac as it's not set up, and I don't There's some weird audio issues, as there always is with pre-release versions of Mac OS and the various audio capture applications, right? So I'll run OBS on my Mac for the stream, and then I'll have that HDMI input going in there, and we'll do it that way. But we can run Monterey and Xcode betas, and we're going to do this because why not complicate matters even more? But I am genuinely interested to see if these are issues. And I promise you, I'm not going to do them in the week and find out ahead of time. We're just going to find out together because that's what we should do. Right, let's run this now. Okay, so it's going to run my ad preset. The awesome thing is, learned a hell of a lot here today, right? I hope this is useful stuff for you all. Coco Type says, my stream machine is still running even Catalina just for that reason. Yeah, right? There is huge benefits to, people say about, well, reduce the CPU load and all that kind of thing on your streaming machine by doing it separately. Well, with the M1, I got to be honest, I'm barely even touching the CPU, so this is not an issue. But for the convenience of management of stuff, and you've got that other machine that is like, hey, you just need to OBS and upload to, I use restream.io, and then I can feed in an HDMI signal from anything. Normally what I do, to be honest, is I'll do it from my Nintendo Switch when I'm playing games, but OBS runs on M1, it does. And this is doing it right now. The stream you're seeing right now, assuming you're still seeing it and it's not crashed, is actually running OBS. Yeah. Where is it? Hang on. There it is, right there. See? Yep, there you go. OBS. I'm not sure if it's running on Rosetta though, but I'll tell you what, it handles it just fine if it is. Okay, let's run this one more and watch the simulator. All right, I'm going to put the preset in. The good news is I feel like I've actually made some progress. Swipe across, delete. Awesome! Right, we got there. Okay, the good thing is with these kind of tests, and this is a great way I'm finding to learn to write for testing code, to how to write it, is to record it like this. Now I know, right? I don't have to go through the pain, and I can just take this code and use that next time. Just like I got my add test there. Now I can just call that test to run it and add it. I don't know if that's the acceptable way, sort of testing purists, if that's the way it's supposed to be, but it works. So learning a lot here. So I'm actually about a half an hour over on the stream that I wanted to do today. Yeah, you're right, Nicholas. The amazing power of the M1. I constantly am blown away by how much little pressure is put on my M1 by all the things I throw at it. And not to mention not hearing the fans spin up. I'm just really super impressed with that hardware. Not so much with the Xcode software today. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to go eat. I'm hungry. I really hope this has been useful and helpful for everybody. I feel like we've learned a lot together about how much Xcode doesn't do well, but also how we get around all those problems. And I got some more testing done. So I'm going to continue this. Next week we will run the tests. Like I was saying, we'll do it, right? Let's do Monterey and this same code base, set up the same tests, see what issues we have, if any, hopefully none, but see if we get the same kind of problems we've had here with just trying to even make and record the test. It's going to be interesting. Hope this has been helpful. Go to compileswift.com. I got a whole bunch of more stuff there. Compile Swift on all the social networks. You'll find me there. Got any questions, anything at all you want to share or anything like that, reach out. Quick reminder here. Let me go back. There is a new podcast episode dropped today, compileswift.com/podcast, where I talk about my experiences of installing macOS Monterey on an external drive. Check that out. If you want, you can just go to compileswift.com/podcast. If you see the click here, you will see the, wrong one. Don't even know my own website. You can play it right here, or you can click this one to see all the episodes here, right? Another way you can find it, I'll just show you quickly. Anchor.fm/compile Swift. Spelt wrongly. Oh boy, definitely got to eat. And you can pick your player of choice. Please check out the podcast. Check out the episode here, Swift and SwiftUI test-driven development with GeoLodi. We talk an awful lot about all the things that I failed to do here today. Take care of yourselves. Cocoa Type. What are we going to get OBS running on the iPad Pro? Oh my gosh, if I could run OBS on, if I could control my whole stream, including the actual stream on my iPad, on this screen next to me here, how fantastic would that be? That would be awesome. That's it, folks. Check out Cocoa Type's stream as well. Hey, Cocoa Type, put your link to your Twitch in the chat for everybody, because I always learn so much and so enjoy watching your stream. So quickly put that in the chat for everybody so everyone else can see it as well. Thank you. There you go. Twitch.tv/Cocoa Type. If you don't know how to spell Cocoa, you shouldn't be developing on a Mac. That should be like your tagline. All right, folks, have a great week, and we will catch up next time, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.